There's a bit of confusion sometimes about what the 67 referendum was actually about. You hear people saying, well, it was about getting the vote for Indigenous Australians, but it wasn't that, was it?
It was about two things. It was about having First Nations people for the first time counted in the Australian census. What I think about then is that we knew how many sheep there were in this country, but we didn't know how many Aboriginal people there were. And then the second and very significant thing was moving the powers from the states and territories to make laws about Aboriginal people to the federal government. But the idea that the first 10 years of my life, I grew up not being counted. Not just me, but all of my people was... It's very emotional, actually.
Yeah, it is. It is.
There was such a high yes vote. Why did it take so long?
I can't answer that. I think that, you know, various political parties convincing and reconvincing that this was an important thing. But I think the thing that is just remarkable is that everyday Australians, like yourselves, saw it as an important thing to do and actually campaign for it.
Did it change things materially for First Nations people, or was it more of a symbolic gesture? Like, how did it actually...
It changed things incredibly.
It's good to hear.
The other thing it did, of course, is transfer the legislative powers to the federal government. Up until the end of that, I was a ward of the state.
Jesus.
And so was every other Aboriginal person. You had to seek permission if you lived on an Aboriginal reserve to marry, to buy clothes, to travel to visit your relatives. And being included in the Australian census meant for the first time that the Australian governments understood where Aboriginal people lived, how many Aboriginal people there were, which had a very important impact on the way in which politicians thought. The fact that there was such a groundswell of support amongst the Australian people was really important to us because it said we believe in decency, we believe in what's fair. And I think that's something that we all very, very, very proud of.